A place and a moment rich with symbolism. The Polish capital, where 25 years ago the citizens of the old Eastern Bloc began to have their say. America's president among foreign leaders marking the anniversary.
Hello, Warsaw!
For the history-loving Barack Obama, this was a chance to celebrate, but also to draw parallels with today and Ukraine.
The days of empire and spheres of influence are over. Bigger nations must not be allowed to bully the small or impose their will at the barrel of a gun or with masked men taking over buildings. And the stroke of a pen can never legitimize the theft of a neighbor's land. So we will not accept Russia's occupation of Crimea or its violation of Ukraine's sovereignty. Our free nations will stand united so that further Russian provocations will only mean more isolation and cost for Russia.
Earlier, a first meeting between Mr. Obama and Ukraine's newly elected president, Washington promising greater assistance.
The United States has already stepped up in a number of ways. We're supplementing the assistance that the IMF is providing with $1 billion in additional loan guarantees, and we've discussed additional steps that we might take to help during this reform and transition process.
With the Americans pushing for a meeting between Mr. Poroshenko and the Russian leader Vladimir Putin, Ukraine's new leader says he's ready to talk peace.
We are ready to present the plan for peaceful regulation, the situation on the east, and we think that the next several days would be very important, crucial for the Ukrainian history and for Ukrainian perspective.
In eastern Ukraine, the fighting continues. At a border guard camp in Luhansk, pro-Russian rebels helped themselves to guns and ammunition after government forces decided to leave. Elsewhere, the government is still on the offensive. Plenty for President Obama and his G7 colleagues to discuss as they meet in Belgium. This week of diplomacy now reaching a critical phase. This gathering was to have been hosted by Vladimir Putin in Sochi. Now world leaders must agree what they have to say, separately or together, when they bump into the Russian leader at D-Day celebrations later in the week. Paul Adams, BBC News.